Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert's Porch. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, there's still a lot of talk of playoff, no playoff, chase, 3-3-4, whatever format NASCAR is going to come up with. Now, some of the talk, podcast-wise, I've heard a few people talk about coming down to one race. No one likes that. I need some clarification on that. Is it because there's a championship battle in one race? Or is it because all four drivers currently are equal going into one race? We can work with either one. Just kind of curious. I'm going to kind of explore both, but I'm kind of curious on what's the, I've heard Richard Petty talk about, people with 10 wins should win a championship, and if you dominate the last race, like Denny Hamlin did, he deserved to be champion and all this. I have my own thoughts, and I'm going to cover kind of a vast majority of things here. I'm going to kind of go over some of the history, kind of different things that have already happened in the past, and what I think they should do going forward. And I have a playoff idea. Now, I'm going to start this with, if NASCAR announced tomorrow, 36 race full season, no playoffs. Cool. I'm all in. Let's watch. Let's go. Let's have fun. If they announce the playoff, cool. I'm all in. Let's go. Let's have fun. I have my idea. So we're going to kind of cover all of that. First, let's lay some groundwork of history. Some of the things that people have said is, Connor Zilisch won 10 races in Xfinity and did not win the championship. That's not fair. There was talk of back in 2020 when Kevin Harvick won 9 races and didn't make championship 4. That's not right. We need to change it. Okay? Well, throughout the history of this sport, the best statistical driver wins, top 5s, top 10s, laps led, laps completed, average finish, points. The best statistical driver has always been a champion. We're going to cover a lot of that here. So first off, let's do some history. Full season format, 1949 through 2003, 55 seasons. Now, chase format, 2004 to 2013, 10 seasons. Current playoff format, 2014 through 2025. NASCAR's already pretty much made it clear we are not going to have the same format going into next year. 12 seasons. Now, during that 77-year history, there has been 8 different points formats. 1949 through 1951. Then we did 1952 through 1967. And then 68 through 71. 72 and 73 were the same. 74, they modified it a little bit. They kind of went back to that 52 through 67 kind of gray national with a little twist to it. And then 1975, Bob Lafford, Bill France created the Lafford system, the Winston Cups points that we knew from 1975 through 2010. 2011 through 2015 kind of had its own unique points. 2016 was kind of, they modified it. It was the same kind of format, but they just modified, I think, 3 more points for the winner. And then in 2017, we started stage racing through present. So we've had a lot of different formats. Now, with the old Grand National format, which where Richard Petty won 6 of his championships. 5 of his championships. For those of you that don't know, that format, you get like a quarter point. You can pull it up here. It was very unique. And I've even gone back and kind of looked at it, and I was like, yeah, that wouldn't work today, I don't think. But let's see if I can pull up the points. So that, let's see here, 52 through 67. It was first place if the scale change spread evenly across the top 25 and half points were eliminated. Prize money is usually rounded to the nearest thousand, i.e. paying $39.50 counted as 200 points. So if the race paid $4,000 to win, you get 200 points. If it paid $25,000 to win, you get 1,250 points. The very first system NASCAR used, if the prize money was $500 and you won, you got 25 points. If the prize money was $25,000, you got 1,250 points for the win. and it was point scale top 14 only. Then it went to the top 25, and then in 68 they went through all through 1 through 50, but it was less than 250 miles, you got 50 points for the win. More between 250 and 399, you got 100 points, and over 399 you got 150 points. And in 72 you got 100 points to win, 98, 96, 94, and in 73 it was 125, 98, 96. So you got more points for a win. And in the Latford system, you had 175 for a win until 03, 04 through 06 you had 180, and then 07 through 15 you had 185. The top 6 was separated by 5, and then 6 through 11th was separated by 4, and then 12th through 40th, or 40 technically went down to 40th. Let's see here. It was separated 3 points to 46th, and then it was 5 points down to 49th. Obviously, we don't have that many. We didn't have that many later on. So yeah, it was kind of a complicated system to figure out sometimes. And then we went to what we have now. Now, when it came to the full season points of the last 12 seasons, so 1992 through 2003, 6 of the 12 was won prior to the last race. From 1998 through 2003, 5 of 6 was won early. The best statistical driver didn't win. 1992. A lot of people refer back to 92, which I love it because Alan Quick was my all-time favorite driver. So here, I'm not even going to say the driver's name. I'm going to say here are the stats. 5 wins, 15 top 5s, 17 top 10s, average finish 11.5. 5 wins, 14 top 5s, 17 top 10s, average finish 10.9. 2 wins, 11 top 5s, 17 top 10s, average finish 10.6. Going into the finale, Davey Allison had a 30-point lead over Alan Quickie and a 40-point lead over Bill Elliott. I know the points are different back then. Take the point value then and kind of translate into today's 9 and 13. The first stats I read off, 15 top 5s, 17 top 10s, average finish 11.5. That was Davey Allison. 2 wins, 11 top 5s, 17 top 10s, average finish of 10.6. That was Alan Quickie. Davey had a lead going into that final race. With less than 100 laps to go, another car spun, took Davey out. Everybody talks about that happening now. What if somebody takes one of the 4 championship drivers out and cost him a championship? Well, it cost Davey a championship. Ernie Irvin, by the way, who ended up replacing Davey after he died. Crazy. So yeah, it cost Davey a championship. Davey was the best statistical driver when it came to wins, top 5s, tied with top 10s that year. Alan had a better average finish. Alan ended up being champion. Wasn't technically the overall best driver. 1993, Dale Earnhardt needed to finish 34th to win a title. Finished 10th. 94, he won it by 2 races. 95, Gordon needed to finish 41st or better going into the finale. Finished 32nd. There were 43 cars in the field. In 96, that was the battle. 47 points in 99, top 3. Terry Labonte. 2 wins, 21 top 5s, 24 top 10s, average finish 8.2. 10 wins by Jeff Gordon. 21 top 5s, 24 top 10s, average finish 9.5. The guy with 10 wins, just like in 94, Rusty Wallace had 10 wins, didn't win the championship. 97, Gordon needed to finish 18th or above, finished 17th. 98, he won it by 2 races. 99, it was 1 with a race left. 2000, it was 1 with a race left. 01, it was 1 with 2 races left. 02, so from 98 through 03, we had 1 battle. 02, Tony Stewart needed to finish 22nd or higher to be champion, finished 18th. Did what he had to do. That's all he had to do. In 03, not only was 03 won a week early, the champion led 0 laps in the finale, which Richard Petty talked about how many laps Hamlin led, and finished last and was still your champion. That's where we got to with the full season points. About, I think overall from 1975 through 2010, half the time the championship was won with races left. I know there are people out there that go, well, you know what? We don't watch it for the points. We watch it for the race. It doesn't matter. Then why do the playoffs bother you? And then somebody else I got an argument with on social media will look at IndyCar. Theirs was wrapped up early in their final race. The ratings were up. Right. Because it did not go against the NFL this year and it did last year. There's more than just one factor to everything when it comes, especially with ratings. The Chase era, 2003, 2013. 1 of 10 champions won their finale. 5 of the 10 Chase seasons, the points leader going into the finale led by 20 or more points. Today's number would be like 7 or 8. 2 of the 10 years, the points leader going into the finale won the finale. Or, yeah, twice going into the finale, the points leader did not win the championship. 2010, Jimmy Johnson was second going in, 15 points out. He finished second. And Tony Stewart won the race. Stewart was leading the points, finished 14th. Jimmy Johnson finished second and won the championship. 2011, Carl Edwards entered the finale +3 over Tony Stewart. Tony won the race. Carl finished second. They ended up tied. Tony had more wins. He was champion. So only twice between 2004 and 2013 did the champion lead more than 5 laps in the finale. That's more of kind of what Richard Petty was talking about, Kyle Larson didn't even leave a lap in the finale. You didn't have to at one point. You don't have to now. 3 times the champion during the Chase era finished 15th. During the Chase era, in the finale, the champion was 1 win, 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s. So your champion didn't even finish in the top 10 sometimes. During the playoff era, 10 of the 12 seasons of the playoffs, the champion had to win the finale. The other 2 finished second and third. 2018 and 2020, all 4 finished 1 through 4 in the finale. Of the 4 championship drivers, 3 of the 4 finished in the top 5 times. Now, going into just during the playoffs, William Byron, 1 win, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, average finish 16.2. Chase Briscoe, 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s, average finish 10.0. Denny Hamlin, 2 wins, 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s, average finish 14.1. Kyle Larson, no wins, 4 top 5s, 6 top 10s, average finish 11.4. Just because you win races doesn't mean you do well in the other ones. Just because you do well in all the races doesn't mean you have to win. Now, if NASCAR wants to have a system where you have to, wins mean so much more, I'm all in for that. We've never had that. And I've had people do this, and this is one thing I hate. Don't go back to the Lafferty system, but change it. What? That makes no sense. Now, there's not a format out there. So of the 5 possibilities, my format, which we'll get to in a minute, the current format, the full season points, the Chase format, and the 3-3-4. Of those 5 possibilities, 4 of the 5, Kyle Larson would still be your champion. If we did the, quote, 3-3-4 with 8. So what that is, for those who don't know, is right now we have 10 races, 3, 3, 3, and 1. So what they're doing is combining the last 2 rounds, basically. So you have your 16 playoff drivers. You run 3 races, you eliminate 4. You win 3 races, you run 3 races, you eliminate 4. You have 8. Now you take those 8, and it kind of turns into the chase, and you run those 4 races. Whoever has the most points is your champion. If we did that in 2025, Larson would have won by 5 points over Bell, 5 points over Logano, 34 points over Chase Briscoe. If we had the chase format, what the chase format was, for the ones that don't know, it was either 10 or 12, it depends on the season. And I did 12 based on this. I did top 12 in points, end of the regular season, re-racked everybody, ran the 10 races, whoever the most points was champion. C-Bell would have won by 1 point over Kyle Larson, 19 points over Chase Briscoe, and 36 over Ryan Blaney. If we just total points for the year and didn't worry about any eliminations, chase playoffs, or anything, just the overall points. Again, I know this isn't accurate. This is just an idea of what could have happened. I know a lot of people refer to it. It is more accurate than going, well, if we had the Whelen Cup point in 2025, this is what would happen. That's not even close to being accurate. This is at least using the current points format. Kyle Larson would have won 16 points over Christopher Bell, 19 over William Byron, 27 over Blaney. As the format we have, Kyle Larson was your champion, finished third in the finale. Denny Hamlin finished sixth. Chase Briscoe 18th. William Byron 35th. Now my format. It is a hybrid of the chase and the playoffs. So, I know some of you are going to like parts of this, but you might like parts of it, and that's cool. I'm fine with it. It can be reworked. So for me, if I'm the one saying, Ben Kennedy, this is what I want. Okay. Winning you're in. I still like that. I understand somebody wins the Daytona 500. I'm in the playoffs. We need to. I don't know how if you do less. I don't know how we get away from that, but that's maybe we don't do the one in the end. It's an option. But I like it, 'cause especially when you get down to the few races left, who can win, who can do this, who can point their way in, and all that. Anyway, so my theory: when you're in, okay, we run 26 races. Say we have, 14 winners. Okay. Now, you take the top 15 in points no matter what. If you're top 15 in points, you're in the playoffs. And then any additional winners this year would have been 3, which have been 18. So you start your playoffs with your top 15 in points plus additional winners, so 18 total. You run 3 races. The top 12 move on. No win and move on. No reset. You just drop off the bottom 8 and move on. Or bottom 6 in this case. Move on. Top 12. Okay. You do the same thing. You run 3 races. You eliminate the bottom 4. Top 8 move on. No reset. No win and move on. So it's kind of basically the chase with eliminations, what it is. You run 3 races. You get down to your top 4. Your top 4 move on. Now we do a reset. Now we take all those playoff points we've earned and we've reset. So if we would have done that for this race, Larson, so going into the finale, Byron would have been leading 1 point over Larson, 5 points over Bell, 15 over Briscoe. Your outcome would have still been the same. So if NASCAR decides to scrap the playoffs, which I think at this point that does a disservice for NASCAR to scrap the playoffs. Here's my thought on that. I think 22 years in, you don't just scrap it. I think you have people out there, fans, casual fans, who hear playoff and they're like, cool, playoffs. How does this work? And they may turn in to see what's going on. I know there are people out there that say, well, they don't tune in, look at the ratings. No one watches, no one shows up anymore. There used to be 100,000 people on the waiting list for this track. They ain't that now. Factors, multiple factors. Can you imagine in 1995 telling Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, we're going to send the sport back 22 years and use the points format they had 22 years ago. We're going to go back to the Grand National points format. You guys in? That garage would have laughed you out of. You would have been laughed out of that garage if you would have told them. If you would have told the group there in 1995, we're getting rid of the Latford system. We're taking it back 22 years. So 95, So 1973, we're going to go back to that point system. So 1973, you win a race, you get 125 points. You finish 36, you get 30 points. You finish 40, you get 22 points. Now, we're going to take it back even further. We're going to go back to 1971 points. So the Daytona 500 is worth 150 points to the winner. Those 400-mile races at Martinsville are worth 100 points. Or let's even go back even further. Let's go back to the 67 points. Richard will know these well. If you finish 25th, you get points. If you're 26th, you don't get no points. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's do that. Let's go back. Let's take the sport back. No, you wouldn't have done that then. You shouldn't do it now. That's just my opinion. I think we should have some type of playoff. I think we should have some type of elimination that makes those elimination races a little bit more action. Maybe not action. A little more important. But just not have the win and move on in the playoffs. That's just the best thing there, to do there. I do have a video about the points. Yeah, if they want to completely redo the points, I'd be cool with that and actually have an idea here. In my idea, 200 points to the winner, 40th gets 10 points. So 100, first place, you get 20 more points than second. And then second's 180, minus 10 down to 10th. 11th through 20th is minus 5. So it goes from 95 for 11th, 50 for 20th. Then you minus 2, 21st to 30th. And then you minus 2 down through 40th. So you get 200 points, 10 points separation. Stages, you get 50 points for stage win, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 1. As for stage points, you get 10 points if you win the stage, 5 for second, 1 for third. You get 20 playoff points for winning a race, 5 for second, 1 for third. You get 5 points for most laps. You get 8 points for a lap, and you get 5 points for the Xfinity fastest lap. That's my redo the points, which maybe it's time we do something like that. It is a version of the Latford system with obviously some changes to it. So you have the different variations. I think it'd be easy to throw a graphic up on TV to show, 5 points from this to this, 4, 3, 2, etc. I know they want to make it easy with the points we have now. That's why they made them. So I also think that they need to redo the schedule. I know a lot of people refer back to back in 2000, back in 1995, 1998. That's not relevant today. Sorry, it's not. TV's different. The NFL is a big elephant in the room in the fall. It is. We all can see that. I think if you didn't go head-to-head with the NFL, because the fact that I know back then they went head-to-head with the NFL. That's fine. I understand that. The difference is you had 2 games on TV back then. You had 2 regional games. So if it was the Browns versus the Eagles, you didn't want to watch it, you didn't watch it. You nowadays, every game that's on, you have access to watch. Just like with Major League Baseball, you can watch any game anytime you want. So I think that plays a factor as well. There's so much more entertainment out there than there used to be. Used to was whatever that was on the actual TV at that point in time. Now you've got 900 streaming services. You can also got multiple motorsport streaming services, plus the other sports and all this. So there's just overwhelming amount of entertainment now. So that changes it. So I think we need to redo the schedule. I think we need to run the schedule February through September. I still think we should have 38 events. It is possible. You run a cup race on a Thursday night, truck on Friday, Saturday ARCA and Xfinity, cup on Sunday. You do that 10 times throughout the year, 2 off weeks from February 21st through Labor Day weekend. Now, when you do stuff like that, there is always going to be that shouldn't have happened, but it did happen kind of deal. You lose, unless you do Darlington as your finale every year, you lose the Southern 500 Labor Day weekend. But if you keep the playoffs, you gain Daytona as the regular season finale on July 4th weekend. So it's like you can have Darlington as your Labor Day weekend race, but unless we want to move another race to the finale the week later, but still and go ahead to hit the NFL. If the goal is not to be near the NFL, you start the year right after the week after the Super Bowl ends. You end your year right before the first game. You're not going ahead to hit up the NFL. I'm actually working on that schedule as we speak. It's kind of a side project to do that. My thoughts are, if we change the playoffs, great. If we don't, fine. My idea is eliminations, basically a chase with eliminations. You have 16 or more drivers in it. Winning your in should stay. It may not. We'll react to it once NASCAR makes it official. I know Steve O'Donnell had said the goal is to get the industry and the fans to buy in. Unfortunately, I think the only buy-in, at least with the fans, at least the fans I've seen on X, is going to be full season, which, okay, fine, we do. If we do, I think we need to change the points. I think we need to keep stage racing. I think we need to keep stage breaks. I think it gives that commercial time that has to happen for to take away from the green flag laps. You're still going to have commercials unless you go completely 100% streaming and pay out the yin yang. Even Amazon had commercials. But we'll see what the ratings are next year. We'll see what ends up with the playoff format. Just my opinion, just thoughts of what have already happened in the past. Oh yeah, and it is possible to win a full season points, to someone have 10 wins, not win a championship, and then someone have 0 wins and 0 top 5s and win a championship if it's based on points only. It never happened, but it is possible. Take any year from 1975 through 2003, total points for the champion, add 1, divide it by the number of races that year, see how many average points per race, and you'll see there are years you didn't need a top 5 or a win to be a champion. It is possible. Didn't say it happened. It is possible. That's my only downfall. Since we've had a playoff, the champions had at least 3 wins or more. Prior to the playoff, we had 3 champions with 1 win. Wins should matter more. More points, more everything. As always, thanks for watching Rubber Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports channel content.